Zapruder never took his eye from the viewfinder as he shot the film. As the horrifying news of the shooting traveled through the streets, a stunned Zapruder began walking to his office. As he was leaving Dealey Plaza, he ran into Harry McCormick, a reporter for the Dallas Morning News, and told him about the film. McCormick arranged to meet back in Zapruder's office, but first, he wanted to find Forrest Sorrells, an agent he knew from the Dallas Secret Service field office, to inform him of the film. Zapruder's partner, Erwin Schwartz, recalls when he first heard of the film.
And I went with another friend that lived pretty close to there to go to his house to turn on the television. And that was when I heard Walter Cronkite say the president is dead.
From Dallas, Texas, the flash, apparently official, President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, some 38 minutes ago.
And I picked up the phone and I called the office. And I hear screaming and turmoil. And I said to the girl, I said, "Mildred, what's going on?" She said, "Oh, Mr. Schwartz, the police are here with shotguns." I said, "What are you talking about?" And she said, "Oh, Mr. Z has the films and they want the films, and he told me to put it in the safe." I said, "Are they in the safe?" And she said, "Yes, sir." I said, "Lock it." "Where's Mr. Z?" She says, "He's in his office crying." And she went and got him, and he picked up the phone and he said, Erwin, it was terrible. I saw his head come off." I say, "I'll be right there."
When McCormick arrived at Zapruder's office with Secret Service agent Sorrells, the men accompanied Zapruder and his partner to have the film processed.
So I went and opened the safe, and I got the camera. The film was still in the camera, and we took it downstairs, and he told the uniforms, the two uniformed cops, "You have a car?" And they said, "Yes, sir." And he said, "Let's go."
McCormick believed the film could be developed at the Dallas Morning News, so the men went there. Finding no motion picture processing at the newspaper, they walked next door to the paper's television station, WFAA. Hearing of the eyewitness in their studios, producers at the station put Zapruder on the air and interviewed him on live TV.
A gentleman just walked in our studio that I am meeting for the first time, as well as you. This is WFAA TV in Dallas, Texas. May I have your name, please, sir?
My name is Abraham Zapruder.
Mr. Zapruder?
Zapruder, yes, sir.
Zapruder. And would you tell us your story, please, sir?
I got out and, about a half hour earlier and get into a good spot to shoot some pictures. And I found a spot, one of these concrete blocks that I have down near that park near the underpass. And I got on top there was another girl from my office. She was right behind me. And as I was shooting, as the president was coming down from Houston Street making his turn, it was about halfway down there, I heard a shot. Then he slumped to the side like this. Then I heard another shot or two. I couldn't say what it was, one or two. And I saw his head practically open up, all blood and everything. And I kept on shooting. That's about all. I'm just sick. I can't.
I think that pretty well expresses the entire feelings of the whole world.
Terrible.
You have the film in your camera. We'll try
Yes,
to
I brought it on the studio now.
We'll try to get that processed and have it as soon as possible.
In the meantime, McCormick discovered that only Kodak could develop the film. He made arrangements with their processing plant in Dallas to do it. When the men arrived at Kodak, Sorrells received a phone call and was ordered to return to downtown Dallas. A suspect in the assassination, named Lee Harvey Oswald, had been detained. Another onlooker in Dealey Plaza, Phil Willis, had taken slides at the time of the assassination. He too was at the Kodak plant having the slides processed. Before Sorrells left the plant, he arranged to receive copies of the Willis slides as well.
Harry McCormick stayed with us. And sure enough, the fellow said they're ready to be seen, and we went into a viewing room.
It is certain that the Zapruder film was first screened in the projection room at the Kodak plant. Phil Chamberlain, who was production supervisor, recalls the first showing.
So when that film came off the processing machine, Mr. Zapruder was there, and he and I and quite a group of our people, probably about 15 in all, went in the projection room to see what he had on his film. And he started out, as we were threading it up, apologizing that he really didn't know what was on the rest of the film, that he wasn't much of a photographer.
Then Zapruder's film came on, and number one, it was needle sharp. Two, the color was beautiful. The focus was locked in perfect.
On film was only, I believe, 22 seconds long. And in that last shot, you see his head come off. And I mean, you could see it so clear. I've seen all these replicas and all the copies, nothing like that first one.
All during the sequence of pictures of the movies, there's not a sound except the projector. And when the projector was turned off, it had to have been 3, 4, or 5 seconds like this, nothing, when one voice said, "My God."
Upon seeing the film, the Secret Service immediately asked for copies.
The Kodak man said, "You'll have to take it to Jameson." I'd never even heard of Jameson. He told us where it was. I think he called him, but I'm not sure.
Even under these high-pressure circumstances, mere hours after he witnessed the president's murder, and with the Secret Service tracking his every move, Zapruder had the wherewithal to obtain affidavits from Kodak and the Jameson Laboratory stating the specific work they did. The first affidavit, signed by Phil Chamberlain, shows the work for the processing of the original film.
And Zapruder and the Jameson people signed the agreements that there wouldn't be more than 3 copies made. And they made the 3 copies. And we had to take those copies to Kodak to get them developed.
After the duplicates were processed at Kodak, Zapruder and Schwartz drove to a downtown police station. On Friday evening, November 22nd, Zapruder gave 2 of the 3 copies of his film to the Secret Service. By that time, Air Force One, containing the body of the slain president and the newly sworn-in president, Lyndon B. Johnson, had already landed in Washington, D.C.